So you're brand new to Outschool and you are so overwhelmed you don't even know where to start. You want to gain more enrollments, have a full schedule, and really start making an income teaching online with Outschool. Well, today I'll share my best tips for new Outschool teachers to start your online teaching business. How to get started on Outschool. I'll go through 6 of my very best tips about getting started, but make sure to stay until the end where I'll give my best tip for really starting to scale your online teaching business. My name is Katie Geddes, and I am a full-time Outschool organization owner and teacher coach. I help teachers build lives of freedom by building online teaching businesses. So, my very first tip for new Outschool teachers to start your online teaching business and get started on Outschool is to find your unique selling point or your USP. This is something that they talk about in business all the time. Basically, it's just how you or your product and your service is going to stand out in the market. So you have to ask yourself, how am I going to stand out against all of the other Outschool teachers on this platform? Instead of looking at those other teachers as competition, how are you going to look inward and think about your experience, your strengths, your expertise, your knowledge, and find what's unique about you and use that to sell to the families on the platform? I recommend just sitting down and thinking about who you are as a person, who you are as a teacher, what you want to teach, who you want to teach it to, and why you want to teach it. And then incorporate that messaging into everything that you put on the platform, from your profile to your course listings. Helping my clients find their USP is one of my favorite things to talk about in my one-on-one intensives. If you are ever interested in learning more about my coaching packages, then make sure to head to katiegeddes.com to learn more. My second tip for new Outschool teachers to start your online teaching business and get started on Outschool is trial and error. The best thing that I did for myself at the beginning of my online teaching career on Outschool was creating tons of classes and seeing what sticks. This is actually a great way to do something called market research because you can see what the market actually needs and what they want. Once you create a lot of different classes and schedule them and try to get enrollments, you can see which of them get the most saves, get the most students enrolled, and then you can focus on those classes from there. I actually recommend doing this before you actually plan out the entire class and do all of the lesson plans, because if you plan an entire class and schedule it and you don't get any enrollments, then something needs to change there. So that way you can avoid some of that upfront work of planning and save that for once you actually get some enrollments going. I think it's best to have a rough idea of the class that you're going to teach with a plan or an outline, and once you gain the enrollments and really do have the class, then you can implement the real deal planning. That way you don't waste your time if you plan out an entire class but then don't get any enrollments. I also recommend doing a lot of trial and error with scheduling and trying different days and different times throughout the week to see what works. And I recommend doing this with class types. So if a class doesn't work as a multi-day class, see if it would work as a one-time class or if it would work as an ongoing class. Have you tested out different types of classes or scheduling or pricing? Make sure to comment below and let us know what has worked best for you so far. My third tip for new Outschool teachers to start your online teaching business and get started on Outschool is to do market research. You heard me mention this in my last tip. Basically, market research is to just gather information about your market and your customers. And the best way for us to do this on Outschool, since we don't really have direct contact with those customers, is to take a look at our competition. Look at the other classes on the platform already and learn from those classes. Not copy them, just learn from them. Ask yourself, how popular is my potential market? Are there classes already available in that market? Maybe what problems or gaps are there in that market? What's doing well? What's not doing well? What are some classes that are similar to the ones that you're thinking of teaching? How could you improve on the ones that are already available to the Outschool families? Or what are those teachers doing well that you could start to implement some of those techniques into your own classes? And of course, how can you make your offer unique? You have to see how you're going to stand out among all these classes that are already offered. I actually talk about this idea of market research in depth in a 45-minute workshop that I have for free that's linked in my description box below. It's called Your First 10K Month, How to Find Your Purposeful and Profitable being key, Outschool niche. Make sure to check that out after this video. It's linked in the description box below. My fourth tip for new Outschool teachers to start your online teaching business and get started on Outschool is that video sells. Video is one of the fastest ways to build this with a customer that you've never been able to interact with before. You have to show your face and show off your personality. Show them how you're going to be an engaging teacher for their kiddo. I definitely recommend having a video on your profile especially, but also have them on your course listings as well. And bonus points if you actually try to edit these in a software like iMovie or Filmora, just because it makes it look really polished and professional. I actually have an entire Instagram live about the power of video as a tool to sell. Make sure if you don't follow me already to give me a follow on Instagram and go check out that live after this video. My fifth tip for new Outschool teachers to start your online teaching business and get started on Outschool is to offer one-on-one tutoring. Not only will offering one-on-one tutoring give you a chance to charge a higher price point in order to work in a more intimate setting, but also working one-on-one with your ideal student is going to give you an idea of the things that they want to learn or that they need to learn, or how long they need to work on certain subjects or certain topics. Once you've mastered those lessons in the one-on-one setting, then you can take that content and use it to build group classes. And then you can start to scale your online teaching business. Teaching private lessons in a one-on-one setting is actually one of the best ways that I created recurring income for myself in my first year of teaching on Outschool. I actually gave an entire breakdown month to month of that entire first year's income in this video right here. Make sure to check that one out after this video if that interests you. Okay, and finally, my sixth tip for new Outschool teachers to start your online teaching business and get started on Outschool is to niche down. You've probably heard this before, but it is so important to niche down as an online teacher. This is going to help you be seen as an expert in something. It's going to accelerate your authority and build trust with the parents. I know in the beginning I said to do trial and error and try out a bunch of different things to see what works. And I do recommend doing this, but I recommend doing it inside of one category. So just in the arts or just music, or just life skills. For example, I chose music from the beginning, but I made a bunch of different classes in guitar, voice, ukulele, music theory, private lessons, GarageBand. Once I tried all those out and I saw what stuck, then I niched down to just guitar, ukulele, and GarageBand, mostly just guitar. Once you niche down, that helps you build up on the platform and really get started. And then in the future, you can start to niche out once you've gained some of that social proof with reviews or just experience with classes taught. All right, and finally, my bonus tip for new Outschool teachers to start your online teaching business and get started on Outschool is to focus on retaining, not just gaining students. Once you get started gaining enrollments, always have somewhere for those students to go next. Always have a way for them to continue to work with you, whether that's just one-on-one tutoring in an ongoing format, if that's another one-time class, or if it's a multi-day class. But always have somewhere that they can go next. Once we take the focus off finding new students and more onto just nurturing the ones that you already have, that's when you can truly start to scale and really build this online teaching business. And it's really when you start making a difference in those kiddos' lives. This is the best tip that I have for scaling from part-time to full-time on the Outschool platform. If scaling to full-time is something that you're interested in, then make sure to subscribe because I'll have tons of videos coming in the future on how to start scaling your Outschool business. All right, so at this point you understand my 6 tips for getting started on Outschool, finding your unique selling point or your USP, doing trial and error, doing market research, utilizing video, offering one-on-one tutoring, niching down, and then my bonus tip of scaling is to focus on retaining those students. Hopefully now that you've heard some of these tips, you're feeling more confident about getting started on Outschool. If you found this video to be helpful, then make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscription button below. Also, make sure to check out all of these videos next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!